doing summer league stuff, and he was talking about Wemby. You know, a guy's going to be good when he's got a nickname, hasn't even played a game in any sport. Wemby hasn't played an NBA game, and Kenny Smith said this about the emerging ascending star.
I'm going to go a little further. In year 4, he'll be the MVP of the league.
Whoa! Watch out now. Nah, I can't go that far.
In 4 years, he will know the league. There will be no LeBron James. Right. There will be no Steph Curry. There will be no Kevin Durant at their heights.
So, here's my prediction in 4 years. In fact, we're seeing it now. Our domestic players from our systems, G League, college, wherever, will be the most popular and sell the most shoes. European players will dominate our league and win the titles. This last draft is a prime example. Wemby is mature and layered and will make an immediate impact on the defensive end and probably will be very good offensively too. Scoot Henderson will be more dynamic, more talked about many nights, but he can't shoot. Because the European basketball system, I know it hurts, is better than ours. They value development. We value popularity and rushing you to the NBA. In Europe, their system is we. In America, our system is me. We're looking for likes. Our guys will get richer. Nike will love them. Their guys will win. Europe's best players, best young players, are now the world's best young players. Their guys will have titles. Our guys will have clout. And that's the way it's going to work. If you ask me today, pick 4 players under 30 you'd build your franchise around. 4 for 4 Europeans. Luka, Giannis, Jokic, and Wemby. 4, 4, 4. Those would be the guys under 30 I'd build around. I'm not saying I don't like Jason Tatum. I'm not saying Trae Young doesn't have talent. I'm not saying that. Those would be the 4 guys under 30 I would build around today. The European system asks their young players to play against men at an earlier age. Beats them up, toughens them up, layers them up. So they come in more mature, hardened, and ready to roll. It used to be that when Europeans came to the States, they were often soft or developmental players. Now Luka walks in game 1, 21, 8, and 6. By year 2, he may be the best pure scorer in the league. Wemby will walk in year 1 and be a disruptor day 1 defensively. Year 2, he'll add 27 a game. That's the reality of it. 15 years ago, we got their guys who were developmental. Now they come in and score and defend immediately. No more of that stuff. I used to think they were too soft in Europe. Now I think our players are too distracted. That's what IG does. That's what it does. Our players now increasingly, Zion, Ja Morant, great players, distracted. Their players, more mature, more skilled, have played against older players, not about popular. It's about getting good, skilled, and titles. So I think Kenny Smith is right on. I'm not sure if it'll take 4 years. It'll probably take at least 3. But again, if I had to build around 4 guys in the NBA today, under 30, I don't think I'm wrong. You can argue for Tatum. I would take Wemby, Jokic, Luka, and Giannis. And I think even J-Mac agrees with that. Nick Wright yesterday, on the outlook, his only concern about Victor Wembanyama.
He will instantly be a top-flight defensive player. And I think offensively, it will be a lot of what we saw this weekend, meaning a night where he looks out of his depth, gets pushed around. The tricky thing will be this. He does not yet have a good jump shot. He has a good-looking jump shot, but he does not have a good jump shot. Until he develops that, his easiest buckets are going to be coming at the basket. My concern with Wemby is the same it's been for the last 3 months, which is a decade into his career, he could be a one-time league MVP, a one-time champion, and already a Hall of Famer, and people will be like, well, that was disappointing.
Kenny Smith, MVP in 4 years. Jokic should have just won his 3rd straight. Instead, it was Embiid. another player, foreign-born. I'm all for it. I think it's great. I love the skilled players. They come in, they're ready to play, they're ready to work hard, the head is down, they don't really care about shoe deals. I mean, all those kids probably care a little bit, but they don't feel distracted. I think our players are dynamic and fun. I love watching them play. I can't wait to watch Scoot. But if you're asking me today who's going to win the next 6 titles, I'll take a Luka team, a Wemby team, a Giannis team, a Jokic team to win a majority, if not all of them. The Luka thing they got to figure out. But he is a remarkable all-time offensive talent. All right, J-Mac, so you know HBO wants some sizzle in this Hard Knock show.
Wait, can I go back to your top 4 guys to build around? Yeah, I just want to make sure the audience saw what I did, right? Sports, we do it well. We do a lot of top 5 lists, Colin. You see how he made this list 4 and excluded Jason Tatum? I felt like it was on purpose. Like, Tatum should be in that group. Now, I would agree he's not better to build around than those 4. But why didn't you just do 5 and add Tatum?
I wanted to simplify it for the audience. I thought 4 was Mount Rushmore's got 4.
It's a great point.
Yeah.
Also, all those guys, I believe, are 6? Luka's 6'8", 6'9".
Well,
they're all large. No small guards there to build around.
Well, that's okay. I mean, it has been historically, outside of Steph Curry, maybe Isaiah Thomas, championships go through bigger players.
Jordan was 6'6".
Well, again, wings and bigs. He was also one of the more vertical players. He played above the rim. So, yeah, I mean, that's not, I mean, I don't think that's inaccurate.
No, I would say
Jason Tatum could certainly be a 5. I'm not saying our domestic players aren't fun, but I feel like they're a bit distracted. These guys come in, they just don't care about anything other than getting good, getting fast, and winning.
I think in the macro sense, there's something to international player playing overseas against mature grown men, and are the American basketball players falling behind a little bit.
Yeah, I think our culture, our basketball culture, as Steve Kerr has acknowledged, is highly flawed. It's about popularity. It's about getting people conjoined with them. And, I mean, it's all about shoes and it's about, I mean, seriously, Zion, his first year, all we cared about was an exploding shoe and his dunks on the internet. International players, we're talking about Jokic being the best passing center of all time. And by the way, this stuff is cyclical.
Yeah.
It can ebb and flow, but I do feel like the European system toughens them up. They used to be known as kind of softer players. Now they come in hardened, focused. I mean, distraction is bad in sports. I don't care if it's golf. I don't care what it is. There's enough pressure on all these kids. Distractions are bad. Their players are not distracted. They win, and often Jokic, I'm going back home. I'll see you guys in 3.5 months.
Wembanyama in his first summer league game, his pocket passing was great. You look at the Brandon Miller highlights from last night. Oh, he scored 26 points. It's almost all ISO basketball, one-on-one, like going to the basket, drawing. It's just a different brand than these international players have.
Yeah, and the league can certainly handle both.
Certainly.
But I think you are seeing a sea change in the NBA. I'm here for it. First of all, I complained for 6-7 years. I kept saying this. Can we do something besides shoot threes? Like, I was tired of 53s. I like bigs. I grew up with Walton. I grew up with Wilt, Kareem, Lanier. Like, I like bigs. I like that element to the game. I like block shots. I love that stuff. Now, Jokic is a different player, but when I covered Sabonis, he and Shaq, those were fascinating battles. I don't want a league of, Bob Costas talked about this. Do we want a league of just coming down and jacking up threes? No, it's not as aesthetically. I think threes are fun. But I also think a big size, rim protection, I think that stuff's great too.
Well, we're looking at the analytics in baseball. How many times did they mention exit velocity during the All-Star game? That was kind of stunning to me. Now in the NBA, it's a math equation. Can you make threes? Can you make layups?
Or
Forget
dunks.
about the mid-range.
Or dunks.
Yeah.
If you like where Mercedes-Benz has been, we think you're going to love where